You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Ian, look at this.
What, it's a police box? What on earth is he doing here? I mean, these things are usually on the street. I feel it. I feel it. You feel it?
Faint vibration.
It's alive.
Earth Station Who, a fun mashup celebrating nearly 50 years of Doctor Who universe. Hold tight. You never know where the TARDIS is going next.
Hey there, Whovians. It's that time of year. That's right. It's fall. And you remember the times when we used to say, oh my God, it's going to take forever to get new Doctor Who. It's almost going to be a year. We've gotten new Doctor Who. That's right. Kind of, sort of. We got the Children in Need special, but that's not all we're going to talk about tonight. Yes, we're getting ready, doing the countdown of the minutes now till basically the Star Beast is going to be sitting on our doorsteps waiting for us. But you know what? Till then, we're going to talk some Big Finish. We are going to be talking all about Missy season 1. So it's going to be a ton of fun to do, and it's going to be a great chat for all of us. Of course, Ciarán is joining us once again. Welcome, my friend.
Howdy. Sorry, I wanted to try that, but it just doesn't sound right with my voice. Good morning.
It almost works, you know. I want to hear you talk Southern in your Australian.
I see if I could probably do like a foghorn leghorn impersonation, but I feel like that's probably slightly racially insensitive.
Oh, you think? Yeah. There's certain things you just.
Then that fits right in with the U.S.
Yeah, exactly. You're not far from the point on that one. So, but it's good to see you, sir.
Good to see you guys. It's always great to be here, especially when we're talking Big Finish. And also it's great getting geared up for Doctor Who. Like only a couple of days left. It's just got to trying to do anything we can to fill in the moments until.
Oh, I know. Well, this show is actually going to go live the day before Star Beast comes out. So yeah,
this is what the listeners do to fill in time before and get pumped for the 60th anniversary.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
definitely.
They always turn to us.
Oh yeah,
we are here to pump them up.
Exactly. And I'm sure as soon as we're done recording, someone's going to leak of who the special guest stars are going to be in the different episodes and stuff.
Right, or something big is going to happen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
An entire plot synopsis of Wild Blue Yonder is going to come out.
Right, exactly.
Craziness. And of course, we have our regulars. Let's say howdy to Mary Ogle.
Hi, everybody. It is fantastic to be here.
And of course, Mr. Mike Gordon.
Wow, I feel like since my catchphrase was stolen, I should probably open with something like "Good day."
You have to say "Good day, mate."
Good day, mate.
Shrimp on the Barbie. Let's go look for some Sheilas or something like that.
Throw another shrimp on the Barbie.
You went there.
Yeah, I know. You guys don't actually say that.
I know.
Yeah, teachable moment. Only Americans say shrimp. They're prawns here. And if you barbecue them... Bleh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're prawns almost everywhere. But...
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be fun, though. You can already tell we're all excited about this, folks. This is going to be a good one. So, definitely would love to hear from everyone at home. Happy Thanksgiving for everyone who's listening in the United States. I hope you had enough turkey and stuffing. And if you're in the rest of the world, where all the rest of our listeners are, happy Friday.
TGIF.
Exactly. So it's good to have everybody here. And you know what? It's going to be a fun one tonight. I can't even begin to just talk about how much fun listening to the Missy adventures were. They were a ton of fun. But we have something a little bit better to talk about first in Doctor Who news. That's right. We had the Children in Need special, which introduced us to the 14th Doctor.
Woohoo!
And it was a origin of the Dalek story, kind of, sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah. Kind of. And, it's a children in need special. Don't take it as seriously, folks, as people are doing. Because, I loved seeing Tennant. It was awesome seeing him come out of the TARDIS and everything. I loved seeing the actor who had played Davros, last couple times.
William Bleach.
Yep.
Yes. Playing Davros again.
Again.
Just a slightly different way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting. I know the young man is a comedian in the UK, I think. I don't remember.
I believe so. My biggest thing from it was Nicholas Briggs obviously doing the Dalek there, but he also did Nida over the PA system. Nida from Genesis the Daleks, which is a fan favorite character because he's just so wonderfully stupid.
Watching this, I was like going, okay, this is fun. This is good. I didn't even think all about, the controversies that came out of this the first time I watched it. Because I had just assumed, it's Davros before the accident, before he got put in the chair and everything. And that's what I assumed everyone else thought. But no.
It's because as part of it was a separate video that you had to find online. It was part of the Doctor Who Unleashed, which is their new Doctor Who Confidential backstage thing, where Russell T Davies talked about his feelings towards Davros in 2023 moving forward. A lot of people have been upset by what he said, which was basically that he felt that in 2023 Davros was perpetuating a trope of disabled and disfigured villains, and that he basically wanted to leave that in the past. I didn't really take it to mean that he's going to change Davros forever. It just meant that Davros looked like that in the Children in Need special, and he's probably just not going to revisit him anytime within his run.
It's not anytime
Mm-hmm.
soon.
Well, he's come out already said that he wants to give the Daleks a rest anyway. So
they need it. The every year thing.
Well, of course he would say that.
Well, that's true. He's not going to say, "Oh, and by the way."
By the way, the third episode is going to feature the Daleks. Like he's not. Yeah, I mean, the Daleks are best, I think, when they're a surprise. At this point. So
exactly.
But I mean, regardless. I mean, like you guys, it was sort of like the other specials that they've done in the past for Children in Need, where I just didn't really assign. I was like you, Mike. I didn't really assign any sort of seriousness to it. I just was enjoying David playing the Doctor again. Very, very much like. I mean, if there was any doubt as to whether or not that David was going to do a different kind of Doctor. I mean, that was just washed away here because, I mean, he's just having seen the 50th anniversary, which was, I think, the last time he played 10, right? Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah. So we just watched the last time he played 10 and now he's playing 14, but it's just 10 continued. I mean, it's the same sort of energy, the same sort of enthusiasm, and it's just a barrel of fun. Like he's just amazing. Like as soon as he enters a room, he owns it, and he's fun to watch. So it got me excited. It did what it needed to do for me, which is get me excited for this Saturday.
Oh, very much so. And I love the line when he came out. He says, "An hour ago, I was a brilliant, young lady."
Yeah.
And I thought that was just genius. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody who's wondering, like, when does this take place? Where is this at? I mean, they answer that right away. Like, this is consecutively like happening, like right after we last saw him regenerate.
Yeah, he makes that really clear.
Yeah, and apparently he and the TARDIS went on a little spin that did not go well.
It's actually, I believe it takes place. The intervening time between regeneration and this special takes place in the comic strip of Doctor Who magazine, because I remember after the regeneration they made a very, very big point of saying the 14th Doctor's adventures start here canonically in the magazine, in the comics.
Oh, really?
So that's set between there.
Gotcha. So whatever. So okay. So this happens between this and the comic. You mean?
No. So he regenerates, runs into the TARDIS, and then an adventure in the comic strips, which apparently only takes an hour. And
I was just gonna say, like, that's a very short adventure.
In, out, 30 minutes.
Timey-wimey,
I'll be done.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, time's kind of meaningless for him.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
time is meaningless to a time traveler.
I loved the TARDIS, like, slammed into the wall. That was just a beautiful scene.
And I love that it took the hook with it when it did that. And then he grabbed the plunger.
It's meant to be tongue in cheek, like how the Dalek got its plunger. It's
right.
Absolutely.
Well, it's ridiculous, but that's okay because.
Oh, I saw people already posting out there. Oh, the Doctor's responsible for all those deaths by the plunger, and it's like, really?
Yeah, that's not the first time the Doctor's been blamed for the for, the beginning, the origin of the Daleks.
Oh, Tom Baker's Doctor, could have blown them all up, and he decided against it.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of tropes about that. But I mean, I went on a deep dive when I saw the controversy that was happening about Davros. I went and did some research about how people who are actually in the differently abled community think about what they think about having, being portrayed as villains all the time. And they're pretty tired of it. So, which I do not blame them for, because I saw a list, somebody compiled a list of trying to find, every movie and TV show that had a character like this, and it goes on forever.
God, yeah.
And one of the few times when a disabled person is not evil, then they are a saint. It would be nice if they got to be human every once in a while.
Exactly.
And I think that's what Russell T was actually trying to say in his own way. And he's, he likes to troll. He likes to get people talking. And I think in his point of view, he's like, if I do something like this, if I say something like this, then no matter what happens with Davros later, people are going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be on the radar.
I think he just knows that people are going to talk regardless. Because I did a lot of research into this as well, probably at a slightly different bent. Because it happened. I sat there and I went, I don't know how I feel about this. So I had to sit there for a couple of hours thinking about it. And I actually went to my books because I've got quite an extensive Doctor Who book collection. And I decided to look through what it said about Davros. And it's not great. It's really not great. I can give you just a quick précis here. Genesis of the Daleks, he's in the novelization, he's in a wheelchair. Destiny of the Daleks, he's crippled and in a wheelchair. History of the Universe in 100 Objects, he's in a wheelchair. Dalek Mark III travel machine, he is in a wheelchair and catastrophically injured. Dalek Handbook, wheelchair. Doctor Who 365, crippled. Whoology, crippled and blinded and disfigured. Dalek by George Mann, horrifically scarred and disabled. Monsters and Villains, crippled and deformed. That's in two separate sentences in the same paragraph. Crippled, deranged, twisted, deformed, pitiful, horrifying. The word crippled is used so much, it's really quite disgusting. I found literally one book that does not mention his physical state or his mental state or his disability in anything about what they said about Davros, and it was amazing. And the arguments that I keep coming up against online, and I've left several groups for many reasons, but the toxicity in the Doctor Who community lately has been particularly heightened.
Oh, it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah, but the arguments being put forward are childish and puerile, and exactly the same ones that were put forward when Jodie became the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change this because this is how it's always been.
Right.
Or they use progressive language to discredit it. They find the one disabled person who didn't see a problem with it, and then hold these people up saying, well, they don't see a problem with it. Right. So obviously you're overreacting and trying to take agency away from disabled people.
Maybe you could say that if the balance wasn't incredibly in favor of disabled people are evil, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
It's
that's
a
the way to put it.
trope.
I think there's a couple phrases that came to mind this week when I was thinking about it as well. And one was just part of the Big Finish that we listened to with the behind the scenes stuff when they were talking to Michelle Gomez. And she said, because they were talking to her about being cast as the Master originally by Ciarán Moffatt. And she said, whether or not it was groundbreaking or not. And she said, well, she has found that Doctor Who fans are some of the most protective fans that she has run across. And she didn't mean that in a bad way. But obviously they're protective because it means so much to them. But even she said in doing so, and I'm paraphrasing here, but she said in being protective, they're sort of resistant to change, right? They're resistant to any sort of change that sort of shakes things up as far as what the canon, quote unquote, is supposed to be, the continuity, et cetera, et cetera. So you've got that part of it as well, in addition to the whole, side of it, which is, woke, anti-woke, whatever you want to, wherever you're coming from on that sort of dumb argument. But I think that so I think there's a couple things going on there. And so no matter what, like if Davros doesn't look like, if he's wearing a bright green jumpsuit instead of like, like people are going to freak out. If like he's, if he's played by somebody else, he's freaked out. Like people are just going to freak out if it challenges what they've seen before. And so I think, if you're going to do that, and Russell T knows this, if you're going to do that, make sure you do it for a decent reason. And I think he made his reasons pretty obvious as to why he did what he did, even though this is a, lighthearted thing. He found the opportunity to inject something there that he felt about, and I felt strongly about. And I think that's cool. Another phrase that came to mind this week, unfortunately, we lost Rosalind Carter, and she had a quote, and I was looking at some of her bio stuff this week. She had a quote that said, like, look, I learned pretty early on in political life, again, I'm paraphrasing, that I was going to be criticized no matter what I did. So I might as well do what I feel is important. Mm-hmm. And no matter what Russell T does at all going forward with this franchise, he is going to be criticized.
Yeah, by somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the life of being an artist and a creator. That's going to happen.
And to be a showrunner in charge of a major franchise, especially.
That's the thing, though. And we always say this on the show. Doctor Who is always about change. It's the one consistent from the very, very beginning. It's been about change. And the show has evolved, the characters have evolved, and you've had now 14 different people, well, 13 technically, playing the Doctor. And you're about to have the 14th in about a month. So it's going to be, it's very...
I think it's up to 16 now.
Yeah. Well...
By the way,
it all depends on how you.
To play the Doctor, him or herself. Yes, I think we're at 16 now.
You could also say, Mikey. You could also say you've had 25, 30, 500. If you go by Chibnall, so you've had many people playing the Doctor.
I haven't seen all those episodes. Sorry.
So
I've only seen 16. I've only seen 16 actors or actresses play the Doctor. I haven't seen all the others.
I think it's you've wrapped it up perfectly with it. Doctor Who is about change.
Yeah.
If you are a Doctor Who fan and you have a problem with the fact that the show has changed, the problem is not that the show has changed. The problem is that you haven't.
Exactly. Right. You haven't evolved with the show.
Exactly.
You haven't evolved.
Because that's the whole point of the show.
Yes, that's the show.
Well, let's also suggest too that, I'm not saying that show is beyond criticism.
Oh no, I don't think we're saying that at all.
No, we're not saying that at all.
Yeah, I don't think we're saying that at all. I mean, I listened to our Chris Chibnall episodes. There was plenty
I was
of
going to say,
criticism.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I think Mike just said, if you listen to Chris Chibnall, and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, he agreed with Russell T Davis.
Yeah.
And I think what Russell's doing, now I think about it, is like he's nailing his colors to the mast. Like 2 weeks ago, he came out and said, like, if you have a problem with me casting a trans actress as a trans character, if you have a problem with trans people in Doctor Who, go away and enjoy your sad little lives.
Exactly.
And I think he's nailing his colors to the mast with this and with Davros and showing that Doctor Who is a progressive show. He's also showing that he will not be swayed. He will not fall victim to the same problems that, say, have plagued the DCU, where the fans are so rabid that they have forced studios to make changes based on their own agendas. And I think that's what he's trying to do.
That's fair.
No.
Sorry,
No.
Snyderverse fans.
No,
I don't
I
want to
agree.
nail you guys
I'm
out.
glad you and I, Ciarán, you and I were on the same page on that one. I was exactly thinking Snyderverse. It was just like, grow up, people, get a pair.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, that was one of the reasons why I was so excited about Russell T coming back, because, yeah, I don't think he's perfect. I have criticisms of him, but I knew that he would stand up to people.
Mhm.
That I knew about him. He was not somebody who was going to roll over and let fans tell him what to do, or studios tell him what to do, or executives tell him what to do. And I think that's what the show really needs, is a really strong guiding voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it needs
absolutely.
to have a very strong voice moving forward, especially if Doctor Who's going to grow and evolve and become a worldwide sensation, even more than it is now. We're having a civilized discussion about it, not going, I'm going to drop the show now, or I'm going to, because of that.
Oh, look,
I mean,
some people-
okay. If that's how you feel, drop the show.
Yeah, please do.
Don't stop whining about it.
Please do, We're desperate for listeners, so we don't want you to drop the show, though.
Don't drop our show.
Don't drop our show.
You can
Please.
drop Doctor Who. Just don't drop our show.
Exactly. We love you guys. We're not beyond that. So it's good. All right. Overall, did you like the special, though?
I personally loved it. I thought it was really great. I think it's unfortunate that it's been marred over the past week, because it was just beautiful for something that was shot on like a single small set that's like a 5-minute video. It was great to see everyone in action, and as I said, as a massive fanboy, hearing Nicholas Briggs do NIDA over the thing, I was like, this is great. I love it. Everything about it.
Yeah, I love that there were this Genesis of the Daleks references. I thought that was awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
exterminate.
he actually
I
name
like-
dropped
I
the
like that.
episode.
I love the Dalek too. The fact that
Dalek.
they managed to recreate a Genesis Dalek that looked like
Mhm.
perfectly.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it was perfect. It was fun, and that's the great thing about it. And it's still meant for kids, guys. People remember that. And
Well-
and let's not.
I'm not sure I'd agree with that, actually.
Well, let's-
Russell
let's
T
not-
Davis came out and said it's not for
not
kids.
for kids anymore.
Which-
I know.
Which people said, oh, he's not making it for kids. I think what Russell T Davis meant is it's for the family. Like, you should be watching it
Right,
together
All
as a
together.
family unit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And let's not forget that of all of this hoopla and excitement that we have for Doctor Who, this was produced for a Children in Need special, which was a benefit for children in need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that should be the main focus.
Exactly.
So I hope everybody, whether they liked it or not, donated.
Mhm. Exactly. Hopefully they donated. So definitely, it's good cause, folks. All right, let's take a quick break, because I think we need to settle our heads and get ready for Missy.
Are you
Wait a
kidding?
sec.
We're in perfect mind to go over.
Spend
to talk
3
about this.
hours on Children in Need, 5 minutes short.
Hi, this is Siri. I would never ever listen to the Earth Station 1 podcast. Who the heck says howdy anyway? Why don't you listen to Chris Hardwick instead? I can get you his information. The Nerdist is everywhere anyway, haha. That was a joke. The Earth Station 1 podcast. It's time to let your inner geek out to play. You can find them at www.earthstation1.com or up on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or wherever fine podcasts are found. Peace, and we're done.
Welcome back. And now we are here to talk all about Missy. Series 1 for Big Finish. It featured 4 stories, a spoonful of mayhem. Divorced, beheaded, regenerated.
I love that title.
That was so awesome. The Broken Clock and Belly of the Beast. So, what were you guys' thoughts initially? Because, how I listened to this for the first time over the last 3 days. And loved every second of it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe it came out in 2019, and this was only the second time in Big Finish that Michelle Gomez had played Missy.
Yeah.
She did.
No, it's the first time.
It's the second time. She was in a Diary of River song before this.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Bechdel test,
which I was going to say, which I think we've covered.
Yes, we have.
But to be honest, and we've covered Missy in something else, right? Didn't we do something?
She was in the Master
set. Yeah.
Yes.
But she had recorded that after this.
This is her first series on her own.
Yes.
Her first series on her own.
And she knocked it out of the ballpark. She was wonderful.
She's amazing.
I mean, is there any doubt?
No.
I mean, Michelle Gomez, yes, please. I mean, she's my favorite Master. I don't care. I know that, there's others that are great, and I don't mean to diminish anybody else who's played the role, but she's my favorite. She just comes at that character with so much energy and so much depth that I want to see more. I want to see more. I want to see more. And if I can't see more, I'll hear more. I want to. So good on Big Finish for making this happen, and good on Michelle Gomez for like really wanting to take ownership of this character and continue to play her, because we've seen, unfortunately, it's not always the case from great characters. We've been lucky that Big Finish has been as compelling. Is that what I would say? As they are of getting people. Sometimes it just doesn't happen.
They've been very, very proactive for it too. About getting.
And a big, big, big thank you to the production people for giving her a theme song that doesn't suck, and B for
what are you referring to?
Thou shalt not be named in this episode. There's 2 things you can count on when you listen to Earth Station Who. 1, we're going to bash Chibnall, and 2, we're going to bash the theme song to the River Song Diaries. So those are the 2 guarantees in life. Other things may change, but those are constants. I think pound for pound, this is one of the best series I've ever heard from Big Finish. Each of these 4 stories are really wonderfully written, and granted, Michelle carries them very well, but we've seen before where sometimes that one actor, one actress, whatever, isn't enough to carry the whole story. It kind of, needs something else. And I think these stories were perfectly written around her. And we can get into, each one, some might have been better than others, but I think this is a solid first series for her debut.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even remember the one that she was in with River Song, to be honest with you. I don't remember that one. That one should be burned in my memory forever, since it's River and Missy, right? And yet I really struggle to remember that one at all. But in this one, I want to listen to this one almost immediately again, because I feel like I missed out on over half the comments that she made because I was busy laughing so much.
It's a tasting box, isn't it? I mean, even though the 4 stories, when you get to the end, you realize all 4 stories are linked. It's 4 different shows, and it's showing all of her varied sides. Because I listened to this when it first came out, and it was a revelation. And I just listened to it in the last 2 weeks because I'm going to be talking about it on my show. And it examining it and like, picking it apart. It is beautifully layered. Missy breaks the fourth wall within the first minute of the first audio. It's fantastic.
Awesome.
And just the comedy and the irony and the sarcasm present in these box sets is beautiful. I love all of it.
And even the darkness, because they are not trying to shy away from the fact that Missy is the master.
Not at all.
She goes there. She does some dark things here.
That is a big Finish thing that they do so well. As I was saying to someone the other day, when the Master is in Doctor Who, the Master has to lose because it's the Doctor's show.
Mm-hmm.
When the Master is in their own show, the Master wins because there is no one who can outdo the Master apart from
the Doctor. Right.
And so, when you listen to, like, this is fun, but yeah, people still die. I mean, the War Master stories, people are dying left, right, and center in really, really brutal, awful ways because he's a sadist. Mm-hmm. But the Missy stories, it's, as someone said to me, because it's like Missy is the Master immediately after the Time War. It's like, the drums are gone, the Time War's gone, all of the things that were stresses are gone, and she's just enjoying herself now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I was worried because of the first story, she's under restraint. She's under restrictions. She has to help or else she's like there's penalties if she doesn't, so she has to be quote unquote good. And I was like, oh man, is this the Missy that we're going to get for the Big Finish adventures? But like, she works her way out of it like right away in the first, like in that first story. And then the other three stories, I mean, she's as bonkers as the Master ever is. Like she is not afraid to, and then, and then it ultimately ends with the fourth episode where we get like double Missy like being evil, and it's just they don't pussyfoot around it. I mean, she is a bad person or Time Lord or whatever you want to entity, right? They bring some question about being evil into it, and it's a thing that I really would like to see explored further because I know that there's more series. This has gotten renewed up to a fourth series, which is supposed to be released next year. So I'm hooked. But I would love to. I hope they explore more the idea that is she evil or not, because that's an interesting question.
Well, she does some pretty evil stuff in that final story.
Especially in the final story. Yeah. I mean, she's just enjoying watching them suffer. Over and over again. But just to show how committed Michelle Gomez is to this character, she was cast in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina during the time she was supposed to be recording this, and Big Finish thought they had lost her. And she said, nope, I will record it at night from, I think she was in Vancouver, where she was filming Sabrina.
Right.
And I think, her commitment to the character really shines through. I mean, she's having a ball here.
Oh, you could tell she's having fun in that.
Oh, God, yes. And it makes it so much more fun to listen to. I mean, it's not at all a slog for her. She was really loving this character and loving the stories. Oh my God, what a difference it makes to have decent writing.
Oh, very much. The chemistry that she had with the monk was great. Out of this world.
Are we going to talk about my favorite character in all of the Whoniverse, the monk?
Specifically the Rufus Hound monk.
Oh, the Rufus Hound. I mean, look, not to say anything wrong about Graham Garden, who played the monk for the 8th Doctor First Adventures, because that was great. But Rufus Hound as this sort of bumbling, inept, whiny little person who is just sick to death of Missy and also the Doctor. There's a wonderful line at one point where it's just like, I just keep spare parts of things inside my TARDIS because you and the Doctor keep stealing them. And of course he ends that story. He's just like, once I've dealt with the Doctor, I'm coming for you. But he's such an he's such an idiot. He's a bumbling, like, Falstaff-esque fool. It is a very Shakespearean performance, and him hiding out as Henry VIII.
Oh, that's awesome.
Was awesome.
And Catherine Parr, please
Poor
sing me the song you
stupid
wrote.
Catherine Parr.
Oh, yes.
Please sing me the song you wrote. I'm Henry VIII. I am.
No.
How do you think I came, please?
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, did they need to clear that? Because
They probably did politely write to them.
because
I mean, they are British.
Actually, there's some other Missy quotes some she quotes the Beatles later on. So I mean, there's a lot of like lyrics that are quoted throughout these stories, which is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. And that's the wonderful thing about the stories. I think with the last time we met up with the monk, he sounded very, very like the Joker from the cartoons. And
yeah, I get a Mark Hamill vibe from him.
Yes,
for sure.
I can see why. Yeah, I can definitely see why you think that. I mean, it's quite, because I know Rufus sounds like I've heard his other work. He does a lot of stuff on BBC Radio, and it's quite close to his normal voice. He basically just pitches us up a tiny bit and makes himself just a bit posher. And I think it's just the whininess of it that just you know, he's pathetic.
He's just like, leave me alone. Nobody ever leaves him alone.
No.
My favorite part is the fact that he recognizes her instantly. She comes out and he's like, "Oh no, not you,
not you, not you."
No. Yeah, like that's
yes.
Which was just
he
classic.
says he keeps a cheat sheet of homicidal maniacs so he can avoid them.
The writing, the rapport that the two of them have, it's just amazing. And this is not the first time we've heard Rufus Hound as the monk, the melee monk on Big Finish either. But man, there's just something about the chemistry between him and Michelle Gomez in this that I was like, wow. I actually thought, why don't they do like a monk series like him, like that? I would be almost into that. And then come to find out that the third series of Missy is just all the two of them. And I'm like, ooh, I might skip the second one, just go right to the third.
Well, he's also in the second one.
Of course.
He's in the second one. He's just not, because the third one is Missy and the monk,
right.
Which is brilliant. Again, it's you're right. They work so well together. And I think it's because that sort of, the monk is that sort of comic character that the comedy is derived from the fact that he's serious. He's not, he's sort of like Basil Fawlty in
Fawlty Towers,
where he is like, he's funny because he takes everything too seriously. Yes. And of course, Missy, to everything to Missy is a joke.
Right.
And so the comedy comes from the fact that she doesn't take him seriously at all. And he's bumbling around and she's finding it hilarious. It is beautiful pairing. I'd love the monk to have his own show, but working off Missy is just as
brilliant. Yeah,
because he's and again, it's because he's in a series with Missy. Because when he's in a series with the Doctor, he can be a little bit bumbling, but he's largely still a villain, so he still does villainous things.
The last one that we covered, I think, had he was in the Tom Baker one, right?
The Once and Future, yeah.
Right.
He's in it.
And that was great. I mean, it was a fun adventure, but I don't recall that chemistry being there, between Tom and Rufus. And I don't know if it was as well written as some of these, but and I don't know. I mean, obviously, they're sort of like this. So you've got this sort of like male-female dynamic, especially since they're like going to get married or whatever, and that's all fun and playful.
They're playing chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
They really are against each other.
The whole time they're playing chicken. Oh, you're not going to marry me. Oh yeah, you're not going to marry me.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I almost have expected them to end up married, but and maybe they are at some point.
Somewhere along the line. But I kept thinking that I wish they had done this with the Diary of River Song, I think we needed like a River Song Unleashed,
Mhm.
because I felt like her character was very constrained in a lot of those stories, too wrapped up around whatever her relationship is with the Doctor, even in the ones where the Doctor isn't there. And if they had and it's not like Alex Kingston couldn't have carried it. She absolutely could have, but the writing I feel like was subpar, and we won't even go to the music. And it could have been so much more. So it kind of makes me sad she didn't get that.
Yeah, we're still, I don't even know if we've made it halfway through her diaries, but
but I mean, we've listened to quite a few of them.
We have.
And I'm not saying there aren't a few good ones, but.
Nope, you're absolutely right. I've been overall disappointed with that series, particularly how much I love the character of River Song, not to mention the actress. And up until this point, I would say that my favorite Big Finish adventures have been the Paternoster Gang, because they were unrestrained. They could do their own thing without being linked to the Doctor, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And I think they benefited from that. And that's one thing I like about this series too, is that even though it's obviously a spinoff, I think the Doctor is referenced maybe just a handful of times throughout the whole thing, and nothing really but in passing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this really sets the blueprint for Missy moving forward. So like in the Missy audios, and also in the Doctor Who audios where Missy turns up, there's a great series called Ravenous, and right at the end, Missy turns up and interacts with other masters, notably the War Master and the Decayed Master and the Bruce Master. So yeah, they interact together well, and again that joy that Missy has is still there. I think they took a while to sort of work out exactly how it was they were going to write Missy, especially when you watch the TV show and the way Ciarán Moffatt wrote her half the time, because the Doctor's there. She's really sort of,
Mm-hmm.
No, and it's interesting
around the Doctor
with Missy and everything, and getting back to like the stories in this thing, it was really interesting because the Mary Poppins parody that they did with her in the very first one, mm-hmm. I was worried that she was going to be under the control of those bat creatures, all 4 stories or for the whole series. And they took care of it right away, which was like, and I thought that was awesome that they did. And I loved how she was talking to the audience. Like we said earlier, she broke the fourth wall.
It was really cool and clever to start off right away with the whole, like, let's do our take on Mary Poppins thing. Even so much to I mean, there's a theme, there's some music that is dangerously close to copyrighted
I noticed that
soundtrack
too.
material.
Mm-hmm.
And it plays out throughout the series. Like there's other times where you hear it, and I'm surprised they didn't incorporate that into the theme, but the actual theme of her. But it's not necessary, but they do have a lot of fun with it. And really cool tidbit that the girl Lucy is played by Alex Kingston's niece, I think,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I know that the creature is played by Dan Starkey, who plays.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting about the theme. I love the theme because it starts with that siren, and you
Mm-hmm.
instantly get in your head that like she's broken into or out of somewhere. Like there's an explosion, there's a siren, and it's her dancing off. That's how it starts, and it really sets the tone. Really sets the tone.
And it's her name's Bonnie Kingston, and she's Alex's niece, I guess. And I understand that Lucy and Oliver appear later in
they come back in season
adventures.
2.
Yeah, volume 2. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's cool.
And
it's always cool to hear like the different, like, I mean, Starkey's like all over Big Finish. Like, it's very rare that I hear a series where he doesn't do something,
Him and
good
Nicholas
for him.
Briggs,
He's very versatile.
Yes. I mean, him and Nicholas Briggs, if you're listening to a Big Finish and you don't hear one of them, something's wrong.
So what did you think of the sort of film noir / true crime series.
I didn't look that it. Look, that's not film noir, but it is actually like
Well, it's a parody.
Well, it's a parody of more of those unsolved mystery shows or whatever, those that. But it was hilarious. Like it was, and it's one of those things too, where I believe that's the broken clock, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hope that we get to see more of D.I. Missy Masters, because I love that character as well. I thought that was like, man, if she goes up against Malone, that would be awesome.
Oh, that would be awesome. Oh, please do that.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I love that that someone else starts playing Missy Masters. She's like, kills them and just, no, do it myself.
That's so great.
I think,
what kind of accent is that?
Yeah. Even though, her flawless Mexican accent.
Right.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You can tell throughout all of this that Michelle is having a blast. Like, it's just every single line that she utters just seems to come from a place of pure joy.
Yep. I love that her accent fades in and out and like gets stronger and weak. It is beautifully done the way and it just seems like such an off the cuff thing. Her voice just changes. It reminds me of in Good Omens, the book, they talk about Shadwell, how his accent never stays the same for more than like 30 seconds. And that's what Missy does.
And I'm sorry, just on the accent part, I just wanted to add real quick that I love the fact that every time she sports an accent as Missy, you could still tell it's Missy.
Oh, yeah, because she's not trying to not be Missy.
But that's a fine line. That's hard to do, to play a character that is like doing another accent as that character. I mean, that's layered, right? That's not easy stuff to do.
When she was doing the rebel officer in that accent.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what accent that was.
Yeah.
That sounded like something out of Python, really. Like, it just sounded like crazy, but it was like, well, I'll ask him.
Yeah.
What?
I think it was meant to be some sort of corrupted Spanish sort of thing, the whole like freedom fighter.
Right. Yeah, like Che Guevara,
well, that is
something.
An interesting idea. I didn't know think of these. Like,
I do not know why I did not think of it.
It's like this old Bandito
But it's so
movies.
funny because, you're like, I mean, there's obviously the characters are fooled. They don't know it's really Missy, but we're listening to it and auto right, like within a minute we go, oh, that's Missy.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's so funny. And you're like, how is that Missy? How could she be in two? Well, of course she can be in two places at once because she's a Time Lord.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love her explanation of that. She was like, what? I'm bored. I'm just bored.
Yeah. And you can that's the thing. She's having so much fun, but in that last episode, you could even sense how bored she is.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's just like, she's giving orders and she's like, look, Mr. Nincompoop. And she's so frustrated, but she's saying it with like not real energy, energy acting wise, but not as a character. She's just bored and tired of this whole thing, and you can really tell it, but it's still entertaining. Man, she is so good.
Yes, she is.
And I think
the cool thing about it,
you get to the thing about Missy is Missy seems so chaotic, so like constantly chaotic, that as if she doesn't really care what's going on. And then you get to the end of this box set and you find out that everything she's done has been for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
To gather these things to make sure that she has a working TARDIS. Not just any TARDIS, the Master
TARDIS. Exactly.
And that was...
I will say on Broken Clock, you'll either love it or you'll hate it, because my co-host Amber listened to it and she messaged me and she's like, you're going to have to tell me what happened in this, because I just can't get through it.
Wow.
Wow, I loved it.
I did too. It was so It's when they, it's when storytellers can have fun with stuff and you don't really have to take it all seriously. It's just like, if you think too hard about it and you want, you're one of those kind of listeners or readers or whatever that an audience member that demands like, everything play out logically and realistically, then yeah, you might have a problem with that story in particular.
Well, and if I mean, I could see how like the stilted speech could get annoying if you couldn't get into it, or maybe if you weren't, really aware of how those tropes work.
I was going to say, if you didn't get the references,
yeah,
like, if you'd never seen like Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack, you'd or any of those true crime things.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was hilarious, but I could understand that being annoying if you didn't really get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the beauty of it. It goes through that. I don't know how far she made it, because if it goes for that for about like 15 minutes, and then Missy comes in and goes, all right, this is awful. I'm stopping this. And it's just at the right time, because I think if it had played out anymore, then it would have been even like just, okay, yeah, you're taking this a little too far. It would have been one of those jokes that's like funny and then not funny, and then maybe it gets funny again, but you never know. But she just like stops it and says, no, we're not doing it this way anymore. I'm taking it.
Like, stop. This has gotten too silly. No.
And that's when I was like, oh, okay, we're going to a whole new place with this. This is good writing. Damn, Big Finish, you go.
And that's awesome about it. There was so much positiveness in this and so much fun. It didn't feel like it was flying by, as quickly as it did. It felt like it was like, it's done already. That's the story, and that's what was wonderful about it. And, I would highly recommend these.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this is Big Finish at its best.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite Big Finish now. And I used to be Spare Parts, but I think this one took over.
Wow.
that is definitely a big call. Look, I love it, but I think there's as the resident, Big Finish person, I
absolutely
think there's better Big Finish out there. I mean, this is great, but oh boy, there's some stuff out there that will blow your mind.
You need to give us a list. I mean, it's not like I've listened to all of Big Finish, but of what I've heard,
we might have to get that list from you, because unfortunately we've had sort of random luck.
Yeah, it's very random.
And with random results. Mostly, there was a while there where I was like, I appreciated what Big Finish did, but I didn't love it. Like, there was some things I liked, but I found that a lot of times my expectations would be like, oh, this is going to be awesome. It's got this, and then I'd listen to it and be like, it just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to say that, with the Paternoster Gang, with Missy Series 1, and with a few other things, I have been very surprised. And I also appreciate it too. Sometimes production-wise, I get kind of tired of them doing audio effects just because they can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it ends up I can't understand them or whatever. And I didn't experience that at all with any of these. The only problem I have with Belly of the Beast is that everybody is like much too Scottish.
Okay, so the actors in that episode actually have a company called the Scottish Voiceovers, and they've got a podcast called Behind where they talk about like, being podcasters. I mean,
I love the Scottish accent, I really, really do. But damn, like when I'm watching something, it's okay because I can put on the the subtitles, but there's no subtitles with Big Finish, right? Like,
anytime we watch Outlander, it's like subtitles on now.
So, I was like, man, they really made a decision to go all Scottish here. Like,
yeah, and I know, like, yeah, the things like that, and also I know, like, the price. The price point can be a barrier.
Oh, This is priced insanely, to be honest with you. When we first were going to do this, I was like, oh my God, this is like almost $40, like American. Like that's like a lot for Big Finish. I will say, after listening to him, worth every freaking penny or pence or whatever you pay for it, right? It is worth it, but damn. I do see that the other series after this are priced a little bit more reasonably. But the good thing about Big Finish is that if you wait, well, with my luck, I buy something and then the week after it goes on sale. So just let me know, just ask me if I bought anything lately, and then I will let you know if I bought something, and then a week later it'll go on sale. So
yeah, I mean, there are tricks. Like, follow their social media because they post up sales very regularly. Like, you can either listen to the Big Finish podcast, which is fun, or you can sign up to some Facebook groups. Just put down the special from that episode. So you don't need to listen to it, but you should, because Nicholas Briggs and Benji Clifford are great. But yeah, no, the price point is a difficult thing, and also trying to not know if you don't know anything about any of the stories, like them coming up, trying to sort through things. That's why they've changed their release schedule recently, so that it's there's very few series running now. Now it is just box sets that you can just because Doctor Who is the ultimate dip-in show, right? You don't need to, unless you're watching Flux, you don't need the episode before, the story before, to inform the story that you're watching now. So yeah, it's I'll definitely recommend some great ones. I mean, some of the really good ones are in series, which can be a bit, it's like when you tell someone, oh, you've got to listen to this, it's great, or you've got to watch this, it's great. You've got to go through 20 hours of content to get there, but
but it's really great when you do.
Really great.
You'll be thrilled when you're done. You will be thrilled.
But I can strongly recommend to absolutely anyone. Missy series, always great. The War Master is some of the best writing and acting I've ever heard in my life. So I always suggest going there. But and literally any box set. I mean, listen to The Master of Callus or The War Master. It's great. Eighth Doctor stuff. Always listen to Eighth Doctor stuff, because Paul McGann's brilliant and he deserves it. And if the rumors are true, which, let's face it, the rumors come around every couple of years or so that Paul McGann's going to be given his own Doctor Who spin-off. It seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But he's getting older every day, so
aren't we all? So yeah,
I'm just really glad they didn't sideline her and make sure that there was an incarnation of the Doctor with every box set, or an incarnation of a companion with every box set, or anything like that. I mean, with River,
right? Exactly.
With River, because she's married to the Doctor, because she's actually they have a connection. I think it makes a little bit more sense, but unfortunately, I just felt that it limited that character in that series to its detriment, because every episode was about how can I meet this incarnation without letting him know who I am, and it just got old after a while.
Yeah, it got old really fast.
Yeah, I mean, Alex has great chemistry with almost anybody she plays against, much like Michelle. Michelle, you can put her against anybody, and it automatically that other person is better. So I would love to see her opposite, other characters, but not at the detriment of this series.
Yep.
No, I don't disagree with you at all. I think, I definitely would love to see where the series goes, and anytime we can get more Michelle Gomez, literally, bring it on. Bring it on.
Well, we just found out that, when we eventually get to the end of the Diaries of River Song, or the last one that they released, it will be the end, because they've said that they're not going to do any more. Whether or not they hold to that, I don't know. But God bless Alex Kingston for putting up with all that.
Really?
But I definitely think that more Missy adventures are definitely in our future, because I can't speak highly enough about this enough. So we need more. We need more.
Now that she's done with Doom Patrol, I think she's available.
But now that Big Finish have, ever since the pandemic, they have a system in place to record people remotely. They have been recording people remotely. She records from her house, because she's got a house in New York, and she records remotely from there. So I think, there'll be more of her. While I remember as well, if if anyone listening wants to listen to Big Finish, not necessarily Missy, on Spotify and Apple Music, they have a whole bunch that are free to listen to. And also for the 60th anniversary, the BBC have released a whole bunch on the BBC Sounds app, which is available worldwide. You don't need to be in the UK. So you can listen to a bunch of free Big Finish all over the place.
That's even better.
I am not paid by Big Finish.
Although he really wants to. Although he wants to.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
That is awesome, my friends. Do we want to do ratings on this one? Or we all loved it?
I mean, if you want to, we can, but I mean, I can't see how anything. Yeah, I if anybody picks below 5-star TARDISes, man, I don't know what they listen to.
Well, there you go, folks.
It's going to be 5 for me, that's for sure.
Definitely all the way here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the box sets that when you're introducing someone to Big Finish, you say, "Listen to this one." It's your gateway drug. It's great, and just Missy is fantastic. Just
exactly. Very cool, my friends. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We are in the final moments before we're going to get Star Beast, kids. We are literally now. When you're listening to this live, except for our patrons, they get it 2 days early. So, but everybody else, you're less than 24 hours away from Star Beast. And you know what, folks? We got some great stuff ahead of us. Next 3 weeks, we have new Doctor Who. And then 2 weeks after that, we got the Christmas special. This is great. After that, it'll be back to the winter doldrums.
After that, who knows?
Exactly. You'll have us. That's it.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
We'll still be here.
Exactly.
Whether you want us to be or not.
Exactly.
Please, folks, check out our Facebook group. We've got an amazing Earth Station Who group. And, Ciarán has a great, great new podcast. You want to tell everyone about it?
Yeah, sure. So my new podcast, which I co-host with the wonderful Amber Patrick, is called Please Attend Carefully. And it is all about all of the appearances of the various incarnations of the Master. So we will be talking about this Missy box set. By the time you listen to this, the first 3 episodes will be out, with a lot of extra content for the 60th anniversary. Have a listen. I especially episode 3, I put so much into that. Like the amount of audio production I put into that is just startling. So yeah, please attend carefully wherever you get your podcasts.
That is awesome. And Ms. Mary, you know what? Small Business for Saturday is coming up. You want to help promote your stuff?
Yeah, everybody, if you want to find my artwork, go to maryogle.com, or I'm on Etsy at eVision Arts. Support your small businesses and your independent artists.
Excellent. And Mr. Mike, do you want to promote your work?
Absolutely. I have 3 books that just come out, all local small business, small publishers. Polynesian Pulp, which is an art book. Also Snow Hunt, which is the incredible Bobby Nash, which I edited. And Galloping Around the Cosmos, which was basically memories of Star Trek, the original series, which Jim Beard produced, published. It's very cool to have those, and there's probably something coming from my publishing company pretty soon, if I can just get it out there in time for the holidays.
Awesome. My friends, thank you guys for joining us. This has been a great one. We know Thanksgiving has already passed, but you know what? We are all thankful for you guys listening to us. You guys put up with us during the last year break. It was pretty awesome. And, our numbers are doing really well, and, we're doing great, and we're not going anywhere. And that's the cool thing about Earth Station Who. We're having too much fun with it. And there is tons to look forward to with the series and such. And we got still a lot to review of the old stuff. Just always remember that. And now that we got Big Finish on top of it, we got a lot to do. So definitely, folks, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you, Ciarán. Appreciate it.
thank you so much. And I doubt I'll see any of you before or any of your listeners. So happy holidays. Everyone be safe and well and merry.
We might grab you to do a, follow up, your thoughts on the specials or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I entirely retract that. I don't care what you do.
Have a terrible holiday.
Get stuffed, basically.
And Mary, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. This was such a fun one to talk about. I'm really glad we chose this one.
And Mr. Mike, always a pleasure, my friend.
As always, it's my pleasure.
And everybody at home, thank you from all of us here at Earth Station Who. And we will see you next week. Not even 2 weeks, folks.
Ooh.
We'll be back weekly for the next few weeks because we're going to be doing reviews real quick right after these things. And we'll be going, ah! And, we might have some old faces show up. Who knows what we'll be talking on the show. All right, folks. We'll see you soon. Peace. And we are done.
You have been listening to Earth Station Who, a bi-weekly pop culture podcast dedicated to all things Doctor Who, featuring talent from across the universe. All topics on the show are the sole opinions of the individual and are used for entertainment value alone. You subscribe to our podcast up on iTunes, Stitcher, or follow our blog at www.esopodcast.com. You can also follow us up on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. If you enjoyed the show, please leave feedback up on iTunes.
This is the Doctor. I'm back.
Nice to meet you, skinny man.
That's Donna Noble, my best friend. We traveled the universe together through time and space, but I had to wipe her memory to save her life. Goodbye.
No!
If she remembers me, she will die. But something's coming for us, something bad, and 9 million people are in mortal danger. I think we need to run.
Their time has come. Doctor Who starts next Saturday on BBC iPlayer.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.